So today at Limbics, I am our Communications and Marketing Manager. Social media is a part of what I'm responsible for, but it certainly is one of the parts that I'm most passionate about. And that's about the ability, and we'll talk about that today, but it's about building relationships. And that relationship, be it with your clients, be it with your friends, be it with potential clients, is the most important thing that I want everyone to take away. I want to read it to you, and we're going to keep coming back to this. And it's by a lady by the name of Darlene Lee. And I actually had the opportunity to meet Darlene almost a year and a half ago when she came to Moncton, and she presented to a group at Atlantic Lottery. I was representing Atlantic Lottery at the time when I was at Hawk, and they said, will you come? I mean, I know you love social media, and we'd like to invite you to come to this presentation. And this is the one thing I took away that just won't leave me. And it was that social media in 2010, this was actually 2009, so she was like way ahead of herself at the time, will cease being the shiny new object and instead become part of the everyday lexicon of business. So part of your communication strategy, not the be-all and end-all. The technology will begin to fade into the background so that people can focus on the relationships, and that's in yellow for a reason, that are created because of the technologies, not the technologies themselves. And Darlene's had incredible success. She's with the Altimeter Group, she's a consultant, she gets paid ridiculous sums of money to travel all across the country and beyond to talk about social media and relationship building. And so she's written the book Groundswell, which is very, very popular. It's a bestseller, yada, yada, yada. But quite frankly, this lady is really impressive. So what we're going to talk about is social media. I could get paid a whole lot of money to go out and talk to every mortgage broker, every realtor, every insurance agent on the block and try to convince them that my way of doing social media was the best way to do social media, but I refuse to do it. And the reason is because it is not the shiny new object. I'm not jumping on a bandwagon that everyone believes you should just get on because of the sake of getting on it. It's part of your overall strategy. It is not your strategy. And the other thing I want to talk about very heavily, and I'll keep coming back to it, is that it's about the relationships that you create through whatever the technology is, not the specific technologies. Because you know what? Twitter, quite frankly, could burst tomorrow. It probably won't. I give it a little bit longer. But it's not about Twitter. It's not about Facebook. It's not about LinkedIn. It's about the way you mobilize those tools to actually work for you.
That will click.
Will that actually click?
Yes, here you go.
Oh my goodness.
See?
Oh, yes.
Sorry.
Okay, so what is social media? So we're going to talk about what social media is. And instead I'd like to talk about two terms. So imagine we just split that word, or those two words, right apart. And we thought about social for a second. And social, what are we doing tonight?
Socialize.
Indirectly, we're socializing. So we're a group of women, 30-ish, and we're all getting together. 30-ish. God. What is media? Name some media.
TV.
Television, there we go. Another media. Newspaper. Radio. Woo! Internet. But is media necessarily just the internet?
Word of mouth.
Absolutely word of mouth. Thank you very much. So imagine the social aspect and bringing it to media. It's not all that easy to bring social to TV. A social environment to a media form. The most common one that you'd ever think of, though, however, would be the internet, because it's so easy to reach out. You can touch nearly anybody that you want to touch. I didn't know I wanted to touch Darlene until I met Darlene on the internet. And then I knew that I wanted her in my social network. So that's just a really unique place to actually be able to do that. So when we talk about social media, I want us to pull ourselves away from thinking about Facebook. I love Facebook. But I don't want to think about Facebook today. What I want to talk about is what social media really is, and that's about having conversations, but just having them online. So we often talk about some of the things that bring people together. Hey, I like this topic. Oh, me too. Let's have a conversation about it. Let's be social together around this topic, or this interest, or this cause, or this business challenge that we're happening to have. Essentially, and there's some buzzwords in here, and I want you to forgive me in advance for having put this slide up, because I do not like buzzwords, but essentially it truly is the fundamental shift in the way that we communicate now and go forward. And that's, Darlene uses these terms, fundamental shift, and it sounds like a little something out of a motivational book or a speech, and it's not. It just truly is something we all, I honestly believe, have to get our heads around. And it's just around not changing the way you live your life, but just shifting a little bit and being a little bit more open to the ideas behind social media. So I want to go through some top-level highlights about what social media brings to the table. Speed. If you were having an event, which you are very soon, and it was a movie outing, which you are very soon, how long would it take you to tell 10,000 people? Think about it. No, I'm subtracting the internet. The internet has been cut off. There is no internet. How long would it take you to tell 100,000 people in Moncton, New Brunswick? A very long time. So you would be outside, you'd be handing out pamphlets, you'd be going door to door, you'd be knocking on, you'd be calling businesses, you'd been going through the yellow pages, you'd been saying, Jesus, somebody please listen to me. What the internet has enabled us to do through social media, being the channel, not the message, but the channel, is allowing us to have information travel a whole heck of a lot further than it ever has in the past. And what that does is help us connect the dots a lot. So it happened that quickly because I had a network, and we're going to talk a little bit about networking. I love the pictures in this presentation. They make me so happy. So accessibility. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, it used to be, computers used to be for people that either had a lot of money, because they cost $4,000, or for the kids. And there's about a five-year age difference between where it went from for the people with money and then for the kids. Because the people with money eventually said, I don't get this, I'm going to give it to my kids. But it's not for kids anymore. It's for anyone and everyone that wants to get involved. Tools have made it so easy to get on board and get online. They're no longer waiting for dial-up modems that... You remember that sound? That was trying to get online a long time ago. That was trying to figure out if you could get your drivers to be compatible with your mouse, for goodness sakes. And now it is so absolutely easy. And the other fabulous thing about social media is around evolution. As we study social media, it is studying us. So it's fabulous, but it's win-lose. And I want to talk about that really, really briefly, just because I'm not sure that everyone is aware of this. Who's heard of privacy and privacy concerns on the social web in general lately? Yeah, everyone. And one of the things I'm not sure that everyone in the world is all that knowledgeable about, and that I wanted to bring today to everyone, is that don't worry about your Facebook profile, but worry about the things that Facebook may be learning about your demographic. Because at the end of the day, if you put your email address out there, even one time, if you put your email address in an email, quite frankly, and send it to me, your email address is up for grabs. So don't worry your heart out about someone has my email address. But what you might be interested to know is that if you're on Facebook, and your email's there, and your age is there based on your birth date. You don't necessarily have to say I'm 34, but you can say my birth date is. What's ending up happening is you're being bundled. So there's a little bundle, and there's a bundle for 34-year-old women who like social media, who like Facebook, who publish pictures because they're really into photos, who maybe list their occupation and communications. And what you're doing is being bundled by the social web. And that bundle is being indirectly sold to people that might want to market to you. So when you start seeing ads that say, Heather, you might be interested in these pet care products. They've probably seen me post about the fact I've got a new puppy about 1,800 times in the last week and a half. So be conscientious about those things. But the beauty is, as an advertiser, so if we have any advertisers in the room, you're selling Mary Kay Cosmetics, and you want to work with Facebook to try to find your demographic, the same way we're a little concerned about our privacy, if you're an advertiser, it's very, very easy for someone like Jacinthe to say, I want people in Moncton, New Brunswick who are female, who are between the ages of 25 and 45, who have posted or show that they're interested in beauty and cosmetics, and I only want my ad to be shown to them. Piece of cake. Piece of cake. So think about it first as an individual, how much do you want to share? But secondly, as an advertiser, do you really want to spend your money marketing to someone in Puerto Rico that happens to be 58 and has absolutely no interest in cosmetics? Or like you do in the newspaper today, you put a print ad in the newspaper, you spend the better part of $1,500, $1,600 on that print ad, but you're targeting everybody and anybody in Moncton, New Brunswick that happens to read page B3. How about Facebook, where you can actually narrow down precisely who you want to reach? So think about it that way from a marketing expenditure as well. For a minute, let's talk about what you want people to do when they're talking about their reputation, the reputation of their company, or their art gallery, or their sole proprietorship, or their personal name, or their brand, is to pay very, very close attention to what people are saying about you. And there are tools today that make it remarkably easy to pay attention to what people are saying about you. A quick search on Twitter, a search on Google, Google Alerts, I can talk to anybody about how to set these things up, they're remarkably simple, will give you an indication of what people are not only saying about you, about your competitors, about the subject matter expertise that you focus on, and will help you have a good idea about where you fit into that mix. And those types of tools can be priceless for R&D and can be priceless for your communications objectives. People are talking, we should be listening.